Hello, Year 8, and welcome to your next lesson on tourism. Today we're going to have a look at ecotourism. As per usual with the lessons that I am making, you will see in the top right-hand corner of the screen that you have got the amount of time each slide should take you to complete. Be strict with yourselves, but also work very hard when it comes to thinking about this. So today our objective is to find out why ecotourism and associated tourist activities are becoming popular. I would like you to spend 3 to 4 minutes now writing down your answer to this question once you've written down the date and today's title. I would like you to think about what could the term sustainable tourism mean, which is often called ecotourism. Write down what you already know about it, what you think it could be. Spend, as I said, 3 to 4 minutes doing that. Press pause now, write your answers down, and press play when you are ready to continue. So, sustainable tourism is something that, in short, is very good for the environment and fair for the local people. Ecotourism tends to have a greater focus on the environment while still maintaining the level of fairness. Attached to your Show My Homework is an extract from a textbook. I would like you to read page 114 and add any thoughts to your answer to the question you wrote down for the starter activity. Make sure you only spend 5 minutes on this activity, so a minute or two reading through, and then in a different colour pen, please add your additional notes to the question. Press pause now, and then when you're ready, as usual, press play, and we'll move on to our next task. So we've now got a different type of tourism I want you to take into account. It's very, very similar, but has slight differences. We're going to have a look at this idea of what community tourism again. I'd like you to go back to page 114 that I've already asked you to read, and I'd like you to write down a definition and give an example of community tourism. It's important here that we give ourselves some examples because it will help us to think about what specifically is going on with this example of tourism. Press pause and then press play when you're ready to move on. So hopefully you've managed to get the idea that community tourism is similar in lines to sustainable tourism, but there are some specific differences. I would like you now, please, to first of all think about defining what ecotourism is. Use the same page and 115 to help you with that. I'd like you to then think about what the subtle differences are. Once you've written down your answer to that question, which should only take you 3 to 4 minutes, I would like you to watch the link in the attached, to Show My Homework. I would like you to watch this and add anything to your answer about ecotourism. Do this in a different colour pen. All in all, this should take you about 16 minutes to complete. Reading page 115, answering the questions at the top, and then watching the link. All this time, think about why do you think ecotourism is becoming so popular? Once you're ready to move on to the next slide. So hopefully you've worked out or you've explored the ideas that ecotourism is this idea of where tourists focus on the plants and animals in an ecosystem whilst being tourists. We've got the idea of sustainable tourism is tourism that benefits local people and does as little harm as possible to the environment, while community tourism is where tourists stay in people's homes and villages to learn about their culture and way of life. So you're getting much more immersed in what's going on. We're going to finish today's lesson by having a look at a documentary before we get to just answering one final question. I would like you to create a mind map, and we're going to be having a look at ecotourism in Uganda. This takes roughly 25 minutes, this documentary, to watch. I would like you, in different colour pens, to answer these 3 questions. You can do it as a table, a mind map, a list. I don't mind how you do it. You're going to think about what is Uganda doing to be an ecotourism destination, so what exists in Uganda. Are there any benefits of ecotourism to Uganda? What's good for the area? What's good for the people? What's good for the country? And then what you're going to do once you've done that is you're going to think about the negatives of ecotourism. Are there any bad things that happen because of this? The documentary again is on YouTube, so I've shared the link there, so you can click on it there. I've also put in the Show My Homework assignment this PowerPoint. So if you want to, you can also click on it and get the link directly from there. Once you've watched it and you've got some detail in your notes, move on to the final slide. I want you just to think about these pictures as we're moving into our final activity and have a look through them as we go. Where do you think ecotourism could thrive? Here? Here? Would it exist here? Is it possible that ecotourism could exist in a place? What about in a place like this? Maybe even. Here is an example of a place we've just looked at. Do you think that is suitable for ecotourism? Could it exist in a place as remote as this? Thinking about what you've learned, you'll have some ideas about how you think ecotourism should or could thrive. So to finish today's lesson, I would like you in no more than 5 minutes to summarize where you think ecotourism would thrive. Use the examples in the slides beforehand and think about what we've learned in this lesson today. I'd like you to write a paragraph suggesting which environment or environments you think would be best suited to ecotourism and why. That's the end of this lesson. Next lesson, we're going to focus again on ecotourism and look at some examples of places that have done it very well, and we're going to have a think about what we would expect to find in our own ecotourist resorts. I'll see you next time.